Hi everybody, welcome to today's video. If you're home right now and you're a little bored and you need some kind of little treat or pick-me-up, what we're going to make today is called nice cream. And nice cream is just like ice cream, except it's plant-based. So it's appropriate for people who eat a plant-based diet and also for people who can't eat dairy. And it's actually pretty healthy for you because it's mostly made of frozen fruits. So the one we're going to make today, I like to call Grateful Cherry. And the reason I call it Grateful Cherry is because there's a well-known ice cream company that makes something that's called cherry, and it's related to the word grateful. And if you put it all together, you'll probably know what company I'm talking about. But our hack is a non-dairy cherry, vanilla, and chocolate-based nice cream. So to get started, you're going to need 2 cups of frozen bananas. I don't know if you can see that. And they were just sliced up and frozen in the freezer. We're going to need a food processor, or you could use a blender. And I have about a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of frozen cherries. And I have about a 1/3 of a cup of, these are stevia sweetened dark chocolate chips, but you could use any type of chocolate chip that you like. In addition to that, we have about a teaspoon of, you can't see it, there it is, about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. And if you need to soften it up a little bit, it's going to be a soft serve type of ice cream, but you can use any type of plant-based milk just a little bit at a time as you're doing your bananas. So we're going to take this off, and we're going to put our bananas in. And let me get my spoon. So here we go with the bananas. And we want to sort of whip these up until they get a nice, smooth, creamy, ice cream-like consistency. So that's those. And I'm going to start it, and then I'll add the vanilla after it's crunched down a bit, or squinged down a bit. Alrighty, so here we go. Let's try it. Really well. Let's go a little faster. And I'm going to turn it off for a minute and just push down some of those bigger chunks that we got. And as you probably can't see this, I'll hold it up to show you. You'll see that it's getting a real creamy sort of consistency. It's actually quite a little bit tough. We'll go a little bit more, and then we'll see if we want to add a little plant-based milk to it. All right, so let's try, actually I'll show you where we're at right now. So right now it's getting pretty whipped up. It looks pretty ice creamy. It smells really good. If you love bananas, it smells really good. So let's try a little bit more. Start a little lower. And let's go a little higher. A little higher. All right. So again, I've still got a few little lumps coming up to the top. So I'm going to push those down. I'm going to add a tinge of plant-based milk, probably just like maybe a tablespoon at the most. And try to get it a little smoother. And I think at this point, no, I'm not going to add the vanilla yet. I want it to get blended up in really well. All right, so let's go, oopsie. Let's do that. And let's put our lid back on. And we'll start it up again. This time with just a tinge of the, what I'm using is almond milk. I'm going to go a little bit faster. Okay. So at this point, I'm just going to take my vanilla. I'm going to add that in. And you can see I'm not a professional cook, but hopefully it'll still taste super yum. All right, so let's put that on. And now let's mix our vanilla in. And again, I'm going to start slow. And I'm going to ramp it up a bit. Now it's getting really smooth and creamy. And I just want to go for one more. I got one little chunk here that will not quite smooth out. Again, you may have a much better food processor or blender than I do, since I'm really not a person who spends a ton of time in the kitchen. So yours may come really smoothly, really quickly. All right, last time. And then we're going to add our different flavors. Okay. Alrighty, I think we're good there. Okay, so at this point I would just give it a quick taste to make sure it has the right amount of vanilla, or if you were making a different kind like maple, if you had enough maple syrup, whatever flavor you had decided to put into yours. Let me get a spoon. So I'm just going to take a quick taste to make sure it's vanilla-y. Super yum. All right, so now, quite simple. All we're going to do is I have a metal bowl here that I kept in the freezer to get it nice and cold. And I'm now going to put my banana base into it. And you may find as you're mixing it that if it gets a little too soft, we'll just put it back into the freezer for maybe 30 minutes or so to firm it up a bit more. And that's why you don't want to also add too much, almond milk to it, or whatever type of milk you decide to add to it to smooth it up. So now let's take out this piece, the blade, and I'm going to try to get it all out so we can enjoy as much of it as possible. So let's get that out. And again, it's not going to taste exactly like a dairy ice cream. It's going to have a real plant fruit taste to it. And it's quite good. So that goes into the sink. The rest of our vanilla base goes into our bowl. And I wish I had a movable camera. I would show you this from an aerial view, but unfortunately we're working with the limits of my technology. So here we go. All right, so that's our vanilla base. And now let's add our frozen cherries. So these are super yummy. I cut these in half so they'd be bite size. And that's a good way to check that there's no pits in them, despite that they're supposed to be pit free. So we're going to mix those in, and I'm going to take my 1/3 of a cup of my dark chocolate chips and add those in. Now, let me get this out of your way. So we're going to mix that all together, nice and quick to keep it nice and cold, but the frozen cherries will also help keep it nice and cold. And again, if it gets a little soft by the time you're done mixing, then you'll just pop it back into the freezer and you'll let it harden up a bit. It's going to be a soft serve. It's not going to be hard like a dairy ice cream can be. But, yeah. So don't worry about it being a little bit soft. It's meant to be a little bit soft. And for those of you, if you're like me, who like soft ice cream, who always let their hard ice cream melt, this will be exactly the right thing for you. So here we've got our delicious mixture. And it's got little bites of everything you could want. All right, so now we're going to plate it up, so to speak, in a nice little bowl. So what I like to do is I like to have a nice pretty little bowl to put mine in. I just feel like it makes it a little more special when I'm having it as a treat. So I'm going to take this spoon. You could use a regular ice cream scoop. Actually, that might be nicer, but I don't know where mine is because I don't eat ice cream too often. So here I go. I'm going to put this in here as a nice, beautiful scoop. And some people may like to add onto it a little bit of extra chocolate chips or granola or possibly toasted coconut, something like that. And unfortunately, I cannot have you taste it, but I will taste it now. and let you know how it is. So there we go. There's our nice cream. I'm going to take a little bite, and I want to make sure I get a cherry in there because I love cherries. So here we go. Let's see. That's really good. Really good. So again, you can make this with any kind of frozen fruit that you like. I like to make the grateful cherry, but mangoes, blueberries, any fruit that you love would be perfect with this. And you can alter the vanilla to, you can use vanilla. You could use maple syrup if you want a maple taste. Whatever appeals to you really can go into this. So I hope you enjoyed that. I really enjoyed spending this time with you, and I cannot wait until we are all back together at the library. But until then, I hope you stay safe, take good care of yourself and your family, and enjoy a beautiful day. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.